Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Perpetual here. If you're new, you're warmly welcome, and thank you all so much for joining me today as we keep up with the Christmas festivities and make an amazing Ghana pound cake. Come along and let's get started. And as usual, the exact measurements will be in the description box below. To get started, I've just set up my stand mixer and I'm cutting up my butter, and I'm going to transfer that into my mixer and start whipping it. This step takes quite a little while, and what I like to do is occasionally stop the mixer and scrape the sides to make sure that the amount of butter that I'm using all gets nice and whipped. Up next, I'm just going to measure my granulated sugar and then get it into the mixer as well. And just as I was doing when it was just the butter in there, occasionally I will stop the mixer and scrape the sides. And I'm gonna keep at it until my yellowish butter and sugar mix gets to a very pale white like it is right now, and then I'm going to start getting my eggs in. I cracked my eggs into a separate container before pouring it into my mix, as I do not want to get any shells in there, and also to allow it to aerate and incorporate nicely, I put in one egg at a time. And after all the eggs go in, I'm going to add about a tablespoon of vanilla extract. And if you've been with me for a while, you know that when I'm baking, I have little helpers, so Nanekia is helping out today. While this mix is still going, I'm going to get started on my dry ingredients, and I am measuring my flour, all-purpose flour. If you have cake flour, you can use that and eliminate the cornstarch, but because I'm using all-purpose flour, I'm going to also be adding some cornstarch. And I'm going in with my baking powder and then my cornstarch. In my opinion, one of the most important ingredients in your Ghana pound cake is freshly grated nutmeg or ground nutmeg, so I added about a teaspoon of that as well. And I'm sifting it all into a separate bowl. Alright, our next ingredient going in is some evaporated milk, and I'm going to give that a quick mix after. And don't worry if your batter at this point is starting to curdle. Once the flour goes in, it will work out perfectly. And just as I did with the eggs, when it comes to my dry mix going in, I like to do it a bit at a time. Once all your flour goes in, you want to take your spatula or a wooden spoon and give your batter a nice stir. And this is the point that I really make sure to get to the bottom of the mixing bowl, just to make sure that if there are any lumps of flour, that I bring it to the surface before I give it one last mix. And after the flour goes in, you want to make sure that you do not overmix your batter, so just a few seconds. And for our baking pan or our loaf pan, I'm going in with a little bit of softened butter, and I'm just going to make sure that I get it all over the pan, and then I'm going to add some all-purpose flour to dust my pan. For this recipe, I'm able to get about 2 of the loaf pans, or if I'm using a bundt pan, I'm able to get 1 serving or 1 large bundt pan out of this recipe. So I'm just getting about half the batter into 1 loaf pan, and then it is going to go into a preheated oven for about 30 minutes. And after about half an hour, your cake will be ready and it will look as beautiful as this one does right now. And of course, if you really want to relive your childhood Ghana Christmas memories, then you can of course add some Ghana chips and some nkatie on the side. If you liked this video, please remember to give me a thumbs up and remember to tell a friend about my amazing channel. I will see y'all again very soon, and thank you so much for coming along with me on this delicious journey. Take care, guys.